Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Bebop here. Today's video is going to be about Dynasty M3. Now, each week will be a different mutation. This week is Ice, and you will have Weary, and you will have Blood Offering. Now, what DPS wants to focus on in this main pool is taking out the musket player first, and then just melting the mob after that. The musket guy usually jumps back. He has some grit, so if you can take him out before he takes the healer out really quickly, that will be nice. All the other mobs will go to the tank, so those you don't need to worry about right off rip. Always go after musket or ranged enemies first, DPS. That way you can protect your healer, because if the healer goes down, everybody's going down. Right here is a very tough pull, the toughest pull in the whole dungeon. Right here, the tank goes straight in. He's going to have to time out when all the crawlers are going to jump on him. If you can get a grab well on those crawlers before they jump on him, that would be nice, but the tank should know the timing and be able to block the crawlers from initially hitting, then aggro with the taunt, and then get to trying to root and CC this boss as much as possible. Now with the change since Aeternum, you cannot perma CC, so DPS, you will have to slow down your spam and actually look to see when you need a dodge, because there is no symbol or anything to let you know when they have CC immunity. So you're gonna have to kind of realize, okay, he's been CC'd a few times, usually after 3 times. I think there's like a 4-second cooldown on the CC that you can apply to them. You will have to keep your eyes open and anticipate anytime that you need to dodge. Now, being rooted here really sucks. So if you have a flail user among the DPS, sometimes the bleed rapier or the evade one can go with a flail offhand, and that will help you get through all the mobs. The healer could even do it in this room if you wanted to, but you know, Oblivion being down is just really important to help go ahead and eliminate the mobs the quickest. Plus the healer having the Void Gauntlet with Scream can help root some of the little stretchy guys that might want to reach out and touch somebody. On the beach, if you get the shrine and then stick to the left, you can skip the spearman that is on the right of where I'm at right now at the camp. If you skip him, that's just going to save your DPS a lot of trouble. The guy hits extremely hard and does like a backflip with his spear, and it just destroys everybody. Same thing with this spearman, but this is a named. You got to take him out. And then what you want to do is group these up as good as you can. Usually 2 great axes is really good to have here. You want to grab well and maelstrom as much as you can. A flail here with all these mobs and, you know, getting the DPS rooted is just so important to have here. I mean, I think I would rather have a healer on the flail more than Oblivion right here, just so everybody can get, you know, out of being rooted. And like you saw, I was stuck there for a while. Couldn't dodge out of it. If you have Purifying Toast Earring, you could take a regen pot, but with the potion regen or the potion cooldown that they added a while back, it really affected PvE. In situations like this, you're pretty much stuck if your potions are on cooldown. And then once you place the first barrels, the second barrels, and then the third barrels over here by the door, you want to get these 2 orichalcum gatherables, and then you want to go ahead and get the flower gatherable to the right of the door. And then you want to set the fireworks off over there at the main podium to the middle, to my right now. And then you come over here to this mob. Now be very careful, because for some reason this lady, you cannot really hear or see the dragon animation sometimes. So you need to really pay attention. When she starts spinning her arms up and she's very still, that means that she's about to spin up the dragon. The tank can try to shockwave, and it used to work if the tank always got the shockwave off in time. It does not do that anymore because of the CC immunity. You don't know when the boss will have it, or the mini boss will have it. So you need to be prepared to double dodge in the dragon. If you are outside of the dragon, you can dodge underneath the dragon and get back into the fight. So don't just sit out there and look and be like, oh, look, a pretty dragon. Hey, mom, look, a pretty dragon over here on screen. All right, very important on this next pull. It is a night with the 2 ladies. When it's Ice Mutation Week, you have to be in the Sacred. You will have to have all these together. You cannot separate them. Great axe. Jesus. Great axe with the grab well right here is very important. Have the bis grab well right there in the middle. And then you want to try to vine down to root and rend as much as possible. DPS, you're in charge of taking out these 2 ladies. They don't hit, you know, back hit as much as they used to, so the one that shoots the dragon straight is usually the one you want to take out first, but you know, feel free to, whichever one you can access, just go ahead and take out quickly, and then you get to the swordsman last. Pay attention to where the swordsman is. because you can get stuck and get right by the tank real easily here if you flourish and finish past the enemy or whatnot, and then be right in the way of the slash attack from the big guy, and then good night. Now, once you can get these melted down, the big dude will do these attacks that will, you know, basically back hit you. You need to be careful on those. Try to dodge in and out when he's about to do those attacks, and then get right back in the fight after the attack is over. When he's down, that's when we need all hands on deck to DPS as much as possible. This guy's really weak to elemental damage, so feel free to add as much elemental damage as you can, and as much rend as you could possibly get on this guy, the better. When you're doing your attacks, he will slowly back up, as he's doing right here. It makes the hitbox really weird and slippery, so be careful when you do your FNF, because you will slide past him quite often. I'm also playing on 170 ping over here in Nisa land, so it is what it is. On this next part, you want a Ice Gauntlet for sure in the group, a Great Axe for sure in the group. Don't forget the Gather Bolt over here to the right. Jump down, grab a pretty little flower, and then you want to touch the shrine. Now, you do not want to go straight on the road and aggro those mobs. You do not want to go to the right and go that way. It's just slower. You come over here, you jump over the boat. You will have the tank go to the named and the dog, while all the DPS can just simply go to the musket. Really, one DPS could do it. If you have an invade rapier, that'd be the best option, just to go ahead, because they can riposte the attacks. And then with Legion Flurry, of course, just keep their own health, and the healer won't have to worry about them. Right here, you want to try to melt these mobs down before you set the barrels. In this barrel phase, there's 3 waves of enemies. The first 2 waves are really important to get them to stop hitting the barrel, or stop them before they get to the barrel. And then the 3rd wave, all you have to do is hit the enemies, aggro them, and then run away. Make sure your Ice Pylon is not down on that 3rd wave, because if they aggro to the Ice Pylon and de-aggro, they will go straight to the barrel, kill it. But once you get the 3rd wave all aggroed up, then you can go ahead and run, and you don't have to sit here and wait for a 3rd wave, and that will save you some time. Right here, you want to create the ice wall as quick as you can. So putting the pylon down and then doing the ice wall, if you have the right skill tree, will go ahead and get your cooldowns a lot quicker. And then you want to just be careful of all the enemy attacks, get your leeching flurry on as much as possible, and then do your FNF and try to kill quickly. Maelstrom here is really good also, and a hammer, of course, by the tank. Don't expect the tank to hold aggro on all mobs here all the time. It is impossible. You need to learn how to deal with aggro and how to buy time to let your tank re-aggro. It is what it is. The tank will be rooted. He can't get everywhere. He does not have unlimited taunts. Watch out for the healer. The musket guy will be aiming at the healer, and if the healer isn't dodging around these boxes playing line of sight game, then the musket will go ahead and knock them out, and good night, Irene. So if you're a healer, watch out for the musket guys on that barrel pull and the next one. Line of sight if you can. On the next pull, since we are running and that 3rd wave is still active, it's just a timed event. So as we're going, those enemies will die out eventually as we get over here. We're going to take these 3 enemies out. The musket guy will run to the barrel once you activate the barrel. So you don't have to go to the musket guy. You can if you want. Watch out there, Bebop, but you don't have to. Now, the tank can pull all these mobs right there. Put your pylon there where you won't hit the musket guy that's down the bridge. That way you don't line of sight him and then have him aggro to you, because he will really take your health fast. And then you want to group these up as quick as you can and melt them down. And then once the other enemies, despawn, then you can set the barrel and get going for this phase. This phase is equally important to have really 2 great axes and an IG. So both DPS, well, 2 DPS will go great axe. Another one will be IG. And what you do is just create this little ice wall around the barrel as best you can. The best U shape you can do. Let the grab wells grab. And then you get in here and do some damage. Watch out for this musky guy. If he is busting and he didn't run to the barrel like Bebop said he would. Bebop lies, bro. Straight try. Then you need to go to him and greet him and say hello.
Short words.
Now, be careful, because those mobs spawning in, if you hit them, that you could get immediate aggro, and next thing you know, they're coming after you. Take them to the tank if that happens. Otherwise, get right here and just do some damage. Healers, do not be on top of the tent just throwing heals down. Please get in the fight. Activate Oblivion. If you don't want to activate Oblivion, then the flail here is also really good for the ice mutation week. The flail does strike damage and arcane damage. Arcane damage is really good. The corrupted are weakest against arcane damage. So the vortex will, empower your teammates, will also clear them of being rooted from the ice, and will do a pretty good amount of damage to corrupted enemies, especially when they're tied up in a group.
No.
This first boss fight, you need to be very careful here.
So mana pot does not work.
Isabella moves a lot, and when they upgraded her health amount, they upgraded how much she moves and jumps around. So try to time your FNF attacks if you're a rapier player as good as you can. By the time you usually get 2 or 3 stacks and you go to FNF, she's going to jump back. So you might want to wait on that. When the mobs spawn, take them out quickly because they'll go straight after the healer. On this first phase, the tank can pick which side he wants to go on. Usually he'll go toward the wall side with his back. That way Isabella jumps out into the arena and DPS has plenty of room to move. She does back hit on one of her thrust attacks. You just got to be careful about that and stay right behind her. If you're to the right, you will get knocked. She shoots these balls, the void balls that will come out. They can hit behind her also, so just hold block if that happens. The void basically slash wave, that you can just dodge under. And you want to try to melt her down as quick as possible. Once she goes down here, do not stop hitting. Keep hitting. On the second phase, when she goes down, you don't have to hit her anymore. All right, this will be the second phase. You get over here to have the first cannonballs go and just basically hit out of bounds, so you don't have to worry about a fire on the ground. And then next thing you know, render up and aggro. And there she goes moving. Balls to block. And try to get as much damage on her as you can. Don't worry about the musky guys on the ship. Just do your damage and get it over with. Now, you do not have to keep hitting her. There's no point. It's not going to do anything. The easiest way to do this here is to have the tank where I'm at right here, have the healer to the right, and then when the dogs come out, they come straight for the healer. Tank will aggro, and all the DPS will be right behind the dogs. But you can also do it this way. This is a speedrun strat, so if you want to get used to doing it this way, you can. The dogs are beasts, so if you're a tank, the dogs are beasts. They do a lot of void damage and slash damage, so prepare yourself. If you want to have a infused beast ward coding, you can. But the health gets melted really fast on these things. I feel like they made these things a lot easier than what they used to be. I mean, the health is just melting away. Right here, tanks, aggro, both these mobs. Do not run up here, okay? Because the spearman usually follows, and right here, we don't need the spearman up here while we're trying to take out the musket. The musket does a spin attack that hits hard enough. We don't need the spearman coming up, sticking a spear in our booty whenever we're freaking trying to DPS, okay? We don't need that. All right. Now this mage, you can either pull all the way up or you go ahead and pull around here to the corner. Our tank wanted to go all the way up, so that's what we do. Watch out for the invisible void blade spinny thing that's about to go on. And apparently some mobs got pulled. If you don't stay down the middle there, you will pull mobs on the left or right, so stay perfectly down the middle. Try to group them up as best you can with the nice great axe. You can also throw the grab well above the mobs, and that will really pull the mobs a lot better than, at chest level. So keep that in mind when you're pulling mobs together. And then you want to take out the musket first, but sometimes stuff gets crazy and you can't really get to them. Healers, good luck. After these mobs are killed, then you come over here. You can meet the mage. Don't just be running up DPSing. You got to look at when you need to do your attacks and then dodge. Oh, you get bounced out the club like those DPS. Oh, they suck. I mean, look at the Bob just simply being amazing. I mean, let me get this noob up and then let's get back to DPSing. You want to try to help out your tank as much as possible with damage. Don't forget to look at the attacks and dodge, unlike that trash can. I mean, what an idiot. Oh, Bob. Oh, wow, fake video, bro. That never happened. I don't remember this. That's a bullish, bro. Come on. The tank's gonna do a good amount of time, a good job there trying to buy some time by line of sighting, knowing the mage will then do her moving animation. And she moved herself right out of the fight and away from the bop, which is good. I can get res eventually. and hopefully not teabag too much. And then now it's time for the boss fight. There are gatherables here in this area that you can get, but if you go quick enough, you don't need to grab them unless you're doing a score run. If you're doing a score run, I'm sure you already know where the gatherables are. There's basically 3 gatherables to where I'm looking to the left behind me, and then there would be 2 back to the right when you first come in and take out the musket and the spearman.
That is a deadly combo.
Don't forget to get your bag of deletables. I was going to go after all these, but you know, there is a Stretch Armstrong guy over here, so you got to be very careful. Just going to go ahead and get one little goodie and then head up. Now, on this boss fight, you need to have a void set. All right, yes, when you do abilities, you are taking ice damage. Yes, the mobs that spawn in here will do some ice damage to you, so you got to be careful. But the boss overall is void. If you don't have void protection, you will get really destroyed. All right, so it's pick your poison, and I'm going to choose to protect myself against the void. The ice, I'm not really worried about. Okay, I got Leech of Flurry. I can leech through a lot of it. Now, graphically, I think this is the best looking boss fight in the game. I mean, also the first boss fight in Forge looks really good, but graphically, I think the dragons that come up out of here, it is one of my favorite fights in the game. You want to stay behind her as much as you can. When she does the shooting at the healer or the ranged person with the dragon, you cannot be behind her. You need to fully get away because it will back hit you and drop you. When these abilities are going off, you need to try to time your dodge or your grit so you can get a grit through them. And then whenever she moves and does those melee attacks, if you're too far on the right or left, you will get hit, so be in the middle. There's a dragon attack at the range. You got to dodge. Right here, very important, grab well, group them up. If you only have one great axe, then grab well the first mobs, Maelstrom the second mobs. If they're not grouped up, it just makes this fight a lot longer and more dangerous. Vines here are really good to have charged up so you can put them down. The mage right here needs to be taken out first. It's the most dangerous of the mobs. Watch out for where the totems are because they will spawn the dragon breath or the dragon circles. Healer needs to be up top where the healer is, you know, like the direction we came in. And then that way, if those totems aim at the healer to do the, you know, dragons in a straight line, they will be away from the DPS and not on the DPS. You want everybody in melee on this fight, or else she's going to be just constantly turning around shooting dragons everywhere and people will get knocked. You could double dodge this in here. You can actually single dodge it if you want. If you have a rapier, you can do your flurry because you're invulnerable. Or if you do F and F, you can do F and F, but you can still get hit there. So it's best to do flurry or double dodge. All these attacks are, you know, very easy to see coming, except for the melee. The melee seems to be the biggest one. It's a big strike damage hit. So you're going to have to be careful about that. If you were DPSing a lot when she came down initially, you might have killed one of the totems. So just know they will spawn again. If you can't take it out quick enough, it will be double dragon time. If there is a dragon, a single one, you can dodge right underneath and get back to DPSing. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that is Dynasty M3 Ice Week, and I hope you enjoyed, and maybe that made sense to y'all. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comments. If you're new here, like, comment, and subscribe. And then for more M3s, you can always check out my channel. Got a bunch of stuff. Just hit 5,000 followers on YouTube, so I appreciate every single one of y'all. It's been simply amazing. I know the game's not in the greatest state right now, but hey, I'm still having fun. So thank y'all very much. You can catch me live on Twitch Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and I'll see y'all there. Have a good one. Later.